Hello, today is Friday, May 22nd, 2023, and I didn't wait a month to make another one of these. Um, yeah, I just came across it was funny, coincidence, I guess. Two different things I read this morning. One was a devotional from the UCC daily devotional, and then I was also reading Richard Rohr's Center for Action and Contemplation meditation for today, and they just coincided. So I'm going to do something unusual and actually read both of them, and then give you my thoughts and ideas. And I think you can approach these things without any sense of religion, organized religion, or thoughts of God, but simply being a human in the world and being part of the world. And it just, both of these just struck me as being reminders to look for the things around us that inspire us and help us to feel interconnected with everyone and everything around us. So the first one is I'll be reading is the daily devotional from the United Church of Christ, and it's entitled Just Corn, written by Kate Winters. And Kate bases the devotion upon a excerpt from Psalm 145, verses 3 through 4 from the New Revised Standard Version. Great is God, and greatly to be praised. God's greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall laud your works to another, and shall declare your mighty acts. And then Kate writes, I was looking forward to teaching this day's lesson in my Intro to Religious Studies course at Mercy College in Toledo, Ohio. Early in the semester, I had become aware that my nursing and pharmacy students, though inquisitive and thoughtful, were skeptical about anything without scientific proof. On this day, the lesson explored awe, what it is, what it teaches, how it is a core aspect of spirituality and life as a human being. I began by asking if anyone could define the word awe. Silence. Not discouraged, I asked them when the last time they had experienced something they might call awe. Again, silence. So I told them about the evening before. I was driving home from school on Highway 75, which is lined by cornfields. The sun was setting at such an angle that it appeared to have set all the tassels on top of the stalks on fire. The fields looked as if they were aflame in glory. It took my breath away. I had to pull over. All I could do was express gratitude to the one who had granted me this vision. A young woman called out from the back row in an exasperated voice, Dr. Kate, it was just corn. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It confirmed for me that book learning wasn't all we needed to do that semester. Developing a reverent awe for creation is the most reasonable thing we can do to heal our planet and bless one another. When was the last time you experienced awe in your body, mind, and soul? What did it teach you? Tell someone about it. Share it. So that this essential spiritual practice of awe is cultivated for generations to come. And then Kate's prayer. God of creation, give us the eyes to see the glory of just corn in a cornfield, and the heart to embrace the mystery of all creation. And then I'm going to read a second thing, and again, this is from Richard Rohr's organization's Center for Action and Contemplation. And this one is entitled, Beholding God Everywhere. And it starts out with Isaiah 65, verse 1. I say I am here to people who do not even invoke my name. And then the writers of the meditation write, Father Richard views each moment as an opportunity to practice contemplation, to see things as they are, and to receive the gift of divine presence. Rohr writes, the real gift of contemplative practice is to be happy and content even while we are simply sitting on the porch, looking at a rock, or benevolently gazing at anything in its ordinariness. When we can see, accept, and say that every single act of creation is just this, we allow it to work its wonder on us. So go, go learn, enjoy, and rest in inner contentment and positivity, a full reservoir of fresh water, both before what feels like success and after what we might experience as failure. Then we have the treasure that no one can take from us or give to us. We will be ready to be captured excuse me, by many moments of awe, and we will be capable of the surrender that brings both foundational union and joy. Remember, the whole process most often begins by one long, relished moment of joy, one of awe, one fully sincere moment of beholding anything and saying, just this. And as Isaiah promised, we will know that every moment is shouting, I am here, I am here. And then the CAC writers write, spiritual writer Amy Frycombe acknowledges that while contemplation may sound simple, the practice of beholding anything takes desire and discipline. And Frycombe writes, let's be clear though, contemplation of any object, person, idea, or being is more difficult than it sounds. First of all, we face the difficulty of sitting down for beholding it all. Don't underestimate the paradigm shift required for the act of beholding, just how different it is from our everyday lives, and just how shiny and compelling our everyday life will seem when we propose pausing for some time beholding. In our society, we talk frequently about the pull of technology, but the problem we are describing is much older in nature than our cell phones. If we are able to get ourselves situated for beholding, we will notice the next difficulty arising. We are constantly being taken out of presence by our own thoughts. Any act of attention is not a sustained experiencing. It's a series of successive efforts to bring attention back to the same thing, considering it again and again. This kind of encounter is a series of repeated acts of will. We gradually train our attention to encounter, discovering its fruit in slow and subtle movements over time. Whatever you behold, you eventually become beholden to. You enter into a love relationship. You recognize your own dependence on the created world, the way that you are held, even as you are holding. And sometimes grace carries us away, and we glimpse, maybe even for several seconds at a time, the whole interconnected, open-hearted world welcomes us. Well, they just happened to pop up on the same day, and both interconnected with awe. And I think this is important for anyone, regardless of whether you're religious, following a specific religious tradition, or spiritual but not religious, or whatever. Just taking the time each day to just be and to open your eyes to what's around you. And I do think Frycombe kind of touches on it. And it's not just our technology that's an issue, because there's always been things that have disrupted our thoughts or garnered our attention away from important things. But I think it's especially relevant with our technology, that we tend to shut out the world and disassociate by using our technology. Maybe not with intention, but that's what happens. And we lose touch with the world around us. So as Frycombe mentions, trying to take the time each day, and Rohr mentions as well, taking the time each day to just be present and to stop and to breathe and to look and to hear and to feel. I know myself, like when I often take my dogs for a walk. And sometimes when I go, I listen to podcasts, because it gives me an opportunity to listen to some, catch up on some things that I want to follow. Or but other times I don't listen to anything. I just walk with my dogs, and I try to be open to what I hear around me and what I see around me. And sometimes I can hear all different sorts of birds. I've heard pileated woodpeckers, and there's a distinct sound they make when they're tapping. And in a park near us, there's a pair of nesting hawks or falcons. I'm not sure what they are. But they have a unique call, and sometimes I can hear them calling. And it's those moments of being aware of just listening and not being caught up in listening to a podcast or thoughts that are overwhelming me, but just being open to hearing and seeing what's all around me. Another example in my own life that I try to do is when I sit down for a meal, try to pause for a moment and look at the things that are on my plate and try to imagine all the different hands that were involved in bringing it to my plate. The plants and the animals as well that are present there, and how they were grown and who cared for them, who processed them, who brought them to the place where I purchased them or gathered them, and the work that went into getting them to be available for myself. And it can be awe-inspiring, trying to think that way, and connects you with the people's lives around you, and reinforces my interconnectedness with all sorts of different people in the world. It can also be something as simple as just walking along and looking up and noticing the sun and the clouds, or watching a plane fly over, and being in awe, even though I'm an engineer, still being in awe of how such a thing can be in the air, and then the people who are in that plane, what they're doing and where they're going, and how they're interconnected, and the connections we may have with one another. Sometimes as simple as looking at my dogs or my cat, and watching them do certain things, or just seeing seeing my granddaughter and watching her do things and discover things, and just being in awe of that. But it takes intentionality to do that, to let go of the things that are around you that are distracting you from seeing and hearing and feeling, and noticing how your body is reacting. And I know one thing that's been helping me with that is meditation, guided meditation, focusing on how my body feels, and noticing thoughts that come and just letting them go, and not making judgment on them, but just recognizing that they're there, and then refocusing back on, for instance, my breath, helping me to focus on things within and things outside of me, rather than just numbing myself to what's around me. Anyway, I think both of these, it was just a coincidence to me that both of these touched on the same subject, and I think it's important for us in this world, especially with our technology, especially with all of the crap that's going on in the world. We need reminders of the awesomeness of the world we live in, the awesomeness of our own lives and our own bodies. So take some time. But I hope this has given you some things to think about and to contemplate, and to know that you are an important part of this world, of my world, of your world, and we're all interconnected and part of this wondrous creation.